Mamie belle, la moustache et la capuchon. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tuleti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tuleti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tuleti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tacatiki. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tuleti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tuleti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tuleti. Mamie belle, la moustache et la capuchon.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and today I have to say, XFL. I mean, what a change! I mean, it was fresh, it was new, it was different. I like the gameplay, I like the action. I have to say, I really enjoy it. The DC Defenders beat the Seattle Dragons 31-19. The scoring was up in the game. There was like non-stop action. There wasn't a slowdown in play, which was something that I really, I think a lot of us fans have kind of like gotten fed up with the NFL. There's just so many things that I want to get to, but I'm not going to delve too deep into the game because there's still some familiarity that has to go on with learning the XFL and all of its rules. But I'm going to break down some of the positives that I have to say I really liked about the new XFL. Starting it off, kickoffs. The NFL for a very long time has been trying to figure out the kickoff situation, and the XFL made it the perfect thing. The guys, both teams start off at the 30-yard line. They can't block until the guy has caught the ball, and then after that they block. To me, this type of thing, it eliminates what they thought was the launching. That it eliminates the hits that can happen, the possible concussions that can happen from the kickoff. Very, very smart. I thought it was a very smart thing because it's just one of those situations where the guy in front of him has to block the guy in front of him, and if he doesn't do that, then you're talking about the play is completely blown up. But if they do, you're talking about a possible kick return that we have been missing for so long because of these stupid touchbacks. Man, that was such a smart thing with the kickoffs. Not only that, the fact that touchbacks are penalized. Love that because the touchback is like the most boring thing we can ever expect in the game, and the fact that they are penalizing the touchback by putting them over the 50 on the other team's 45-yard line, that was a great rule. So what it does is that the kickers and punters now have to kick in bounds. They can no longer kick out of bounds. Also a part of that is punting out of bounds. Punting out of bounds is even worse than the touchback. Punting out of bounds puts them so far back that it's almost insane. It's like they have to kick from their end zone. So I actually, honestly, legitimately, I love that. No coin toss. Home field advantage means home field advantage. So if they're playing, if the team is playing at home, they get the choice to defer the kick or whatever. I love that. I will say this, I didn't get to see overtime, but I will say that I felt that was a really good thing to add into the whole system. The fact that home team gets the advantage, so they automatically get to choose if they want to defer or not, or choose if they want to go ahead and kick the ball. So or choose if they want to receive the ball or they deferred. So that I thought was very good. Extra point scoring. How great is that? Again, another great innovation. The XFL, the previous one, had a lot of innovations, which was the overhead cam, and also I think they were the ones who started the coaches challenge, if I'm correct. I think they were, but they dumped that. No more coaches challenges, which slows down the game. So yeah, that was dumped. Like I said again, I felt that was great. Extra point scoring. They basically taken out the extra point kicker. I think they're just like, bump that. You got to kick a field goal, you have to kick a field goal. So after touchdowns, they have to go for what they consider a 1 point, a 2 point, or a 5 point. So the 1 point is from the 2-yard line. The 2 point is from the 5-yard line, and the 3 point is from the 10-yard line. So it gives an opportunity. It's going to really open it up for quarterbacks. Like I said again, I thought that was amazing to make something, make it a element that's better than what you get in the NFL with the guaranteed kick. Personal foul penalties. Again, this is something else that was just incredible. So if you get a personal foul, then what they automatically do is they give you 15 yards and you lose the down. That is such a great rule to put in place, because now it really does penalize personal fouls. You know, even though 15 yards is a big deal, but when you penalize the down as well, that's on offense, of course. If the personal foul is on offense, they penalize the down. So that, I felt that was a really good thing. The transparent replay. Again, the camera angles were insane that these replay people was getting. Not only that, the communication to the referees, I thought that was great too. So it kind of eliminates the referees making the mistake of moving the ball too far up or moving the ball too far back. I just felt that was a very, very smart element that they added to the game. Not only that, hearing the replay guy explain to the ref, yeah, I'm looking at this, the guy is actually here. I mean, those are elements that I have to say that I think the NFL should pick up, because that transparent replay, it makes a fan of the sport not feel cheated. So I will say this, that was very, very good, because there are times where we sit up there and we've seen a lot of replays in the NFL, and it's like, how can they not call it a touchdown? How can they not do this? The XFL has eliminated that, and I mean, the Hawkeye, because it's a new video camera system that they're using called Hawkeye something. But what it does is that it makes it does its best to get every angle possible that they can to get the correct calls and everything. Again, I love it. Love transparent replay. The small stadiums, that works for the XFL, because you could feel the energy through the TV, which is crazy because you don't feel that same energy through the TV at NFL games. You actually felt the crowd energy through the TV, and it actually got me pumped and excited to the games and everything, and because of that, it got me pumped and excited to watch the other XFL game. So again, I really, really enjoyed that, and it also is getting me excited to watch the games tomorrow. So to watch the games on Sunday. So I'm actually happy about that, and it's really good. Also, I have to give the XFL a lot of credit for starting their season with familiar names. The DC Defenders, there were a lot of familiar names in that game or coaching that really, really brought an element of this is not like other leagues. Because prior to this, the AAFL, there were a lot of players that you just didn't know. There were a lot of coaches that you didn't know. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, in some of the leagues, the coaches were the only people you knew. You didn't really know the players. In this league, there were a lot of familiar names in this game that made me excited. One, Jim Zorn, former head coach of the Washington Redskins. That was a good thing. Keenan Reynolds, former quarterback at Navy. If you're from this area, we remember Keenan Reynolds. And not only that, he was on the Baltimore Ravens for a minute, and he took punting training from Brian Mitchell. So that was a big thing. Rashad Ross. A lot of us remember Rashad Ross. He was one of the young wide receivers we drafted, I think it was 2 years ago. He didn't make the team, but again, he was in the game. There was Kari Lee. Again, if you're from this area, Kari Lee at one time was considered one of the best high schoolers at his position, because I think he was a wide receiver. He wasn't a tight end yet. I think he was a wide receiver. He was considered one of the best in the area. He was playing the game. Kay Williams, who was actually a practice squad player on the Redskins. Again, it just, the familiarity made the game even more watchable because you were invested in people that you already knew from being in this area or knowing their names from playing on a team or playing on the Redskins or playing in a high school or playing somewhere in this area. So that was a very, very good thing that they did, was introducing players that were familiar to the areas. I'm pretty sure they did the same thing for some other teams, but that was a very good thing. The negatives. So one negative is the no pass interference review. The NFL had to fix that. So pretty much the XFL is going to have to fix that, because when the NFL fixed it, it was because it happened in a big playoff game and they knew they had to fix it. So as time goes on, the XFL is going to have to fix it. Constant communication. That's a good and bad thing. The constant communication, it kind of made the players not really be inventive when a play breaks down, even though we saw that happen. But it also doesn't give a player to actually give him the chance to possibly come out of a play that may not work. So it forces the quarterbacks, the running back, and the wide receivers, I think, are the ones who get the communication, to sit up there and they sit up there and they're not at the whim of themselves being able to make a play or sit in a zone or do something that they see is different than what their coach calls. So the constant communication, I think they may want to stamp down on that a little bit. But the part that I was saying is good and bad, it's also good because now the coach can't say it was the players didn't execute. Now you can sit up there and say, no, you called the play that they couldn't execute because you didn't let him read the defense to execute a different play. So, like I said, that's the good and bad. Last thing that I have to admit I absolutely hated is the sideline reporting. It's in the way and it's clumsy. I really hated how they kept having to talk to the coaches and trying to talk to the players and getting in the way of the coaches while they're trying to focus on the game. It just comes off as really, really clumsy. That's the one thing that I have to say the NFL really does have in check. But yeah, I have to say they have to get rid of that sideline reporting because it's just way too clumsy and it's way too in the way. But other than that, I have to say, y'all, I really, really like the new XFL. We might actually have football year round, y'all. We might actually have football year round. And I really do feel that this league is going to open up more as the time goes on and as it starts to get better, because I was excited. Like I said, them playing in these small stadiums, you felt the energy through the TV. But again, like I said, this is just the beginning. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes. Vince McMahon that's the crazy part about it. The guy who figures out football is the king of wrestling. I mean, you could never imagine that. The king of wrestling has figured out football and how to keep football around. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But I'm excited. Glad the DC Defenders won their first game. Can't wait to see their next game, which is against the New York Guardians. So I'm excited about that. Let's keep watching football, y'all. And I'm going to keep reporting on the DC Defenders and how the XFL go. This has been your man, John Fortune. And this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.